Friendship and Joy with Karen and Suzanne. I'm Karen.
And I'm Suzanne.
And today we are going to do a little tutorial about how to make a puff stitch hat.
It is so adorable.
It is crocheted, it is not knitted. And
it actually, it suits child and adult the same. That actually looks great on you.
It's a very cozy, I mean, it's a nice little sort of like easy hat to just throw on whenever you're gonna go out. It is very warm because the stitch is so thick, but it is not too warm because there's also a lot of little holes in the hat. So it sort of depends on the in-between weather. It's kind of nice. So we're gonna get started on showing you how to make this one today.
Yeah, can't wait.
Okay, so begin to make the puff stitch hat. You do a slip knot onto your hook, and then you chain 5, and you close it with a slip stitch to create a little circle. Now pull up a little bit to make your loop looser. It's going to help you, especially on this first round. That is always a little tricky, because now we're going to do 5 puff stitches into this little ring. So the first round is going to be tight, so keep it a little loose. Now in order to make a puff stitch, you yarn over, you go into the ring or to a stitch depending on the project you're working on, and pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, but instead of pulling through the first 2 stitches here like you would when you do a double crochet, do not pull through anything. Go back into the ring and collect more yarn. You do this a total of 4 times. 3 and 4. This is what I'm saying. It's getting tight, especially this first round. So keep it loose. Now we actually have 9 hoops onto our hook. Yarn over one more time and pull through all of those 9 hoops and close it with a slip stitch. That is your first puff stitch. It's hard to see. Maybe I should change the yarn just to show you in a different color. Oh well. Anyways, keep it a little loose and do 4 more puff stitches in this little ring. Actually, this first round, I do a little chain in between just to get some extra space. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Loosen it up and pull through all 9. And sometimes you have to jiggle it a little bit. Remember to cut yourself some slack once in a while. So how many do I have here? 1, let me see. Sometimes it's hard to see. 1, 2, 3, 2 more. It's going to be tight. Let's do 1 little chain in between here. Like I said, I only do that on the very first round just to help myself a little bit. Afterwards, you don't need to really. 1, 2, 3. Is there 1 or 2? 4, 5. 1 more. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm closing up the round by making a little slip stitch in that first chain that we had. And we begin again to make our puff stitches. Now in this round, round 2, we're gonna do 2 puff stitches in between each of these. So we're gonna end up with 10 in total for the next round. Do one more in the same space. So now I have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 puff stitches, and I'm going to close it up, and you close it up in this little slip stitch that you did on top of the previous puff stitch. You just close it up with a slip stitch, and that was round number 2. So now in round number 3, we are starting up. Give yourself a little bit of slack again, like make the stitch loose, and in this first space here in between these two, you are going to do a double set. So you do 2 puff stitches. You begin by doing 2, and then we're gonna do 1 in between. So anyways, a little bit of looseness, and do 2 puff stitches here. And 1 more in the same space. Oh, and here's the importance of giving yourself lots of slack, otherwise everything is going to be too tight and it's going to be hard to do this. Okay, so there's 2, and then we'll do 1 in between. And each round it's going to be 1 extra in between the set of double that you have. So here we go, double again. Now this particular pattern, it is a little bit of a yarn guzzler, so you will use a lot of yarn. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 more. You will go through quite a bit of yarn with this particular hat, but it is so worth it in the end because it turns out so nice and thick and puffy. Okay, so we do 1 in between. And another set of double. And I'll see you at the end of the round. Okay, so here I am at the end of this round, and I have now done a double, 1, double, 1 all the way across for a total of 15 puff stitches, and close the round in on top of the first puff stitch in that round. And then you're gonna just keep increasing like this until you get the width of 4 to 5 inches maybe from the top. For an adult hat, I would do about 5 to 6 perhaps increases, and for a smaller hat I would do 4 to 5. So the next round again, you start always by doing a double puff stitch in the first one, and then you will go 2 single and then a double in between. So let's just follow through. A little bit of slack for this particular stitch, and let's start off with double, And one more in the same. You will pretty soon see where the increases will end up. It will flare out like a little star pattern here. So there was double double, and now I'm gonna do 2 moving forward. 1, 2, and here again we will do another set of double. Don't forget to keep the stitches fairly loose, because it will be almost impossible to pull through all 9 hoops otherwise. And then we count. 1, 2. Oops. Another thing to point out is to make sure you go in between the puff stitches so you don't break them apart. Let's start this one over from the beginning. Sometimes it's easier to start fresh. Two, and in these 2 here, double. Here I am now. I've closed up the 3rd round. 1, 2, 3, 4th actually. Sorry. I've closed up the 4th round, and now I am going to do my next round, and you can start to see where the doubles are. They are over here. So I'm going to do double with 1, 2, 3 in between, and then double. 1, 2, 3. And I am going to increase, I think, for 2, I would say, I would do 2 more rounds, and then I'm going to, this is, you decide how big you want the hat. The more, you can keep going, but at some point you got to stop to just do even rounds without these double increases. That way you then build the hat down. So this will be the skull cap. Okay, so here I am now. I have closed up the round, and if you look closely you can see here are my double increases. So that means that I have now 3 in between each. I'm going to do 1 more increase round, so I have a total of 4 in between my double sections here, and that will be a good size for a smaller child's hat that I'm going to make. Okay, so now I have finished with my increases. I have my double rounds here pointing out like a star, and I have now done 1, 2, 3, 4 puff stitches in between each increase double. And that is a pretty good size skull cap. So now it's just a matter of going around in rounds to build down towards the rim of the hat. I don't even close the rounds when I do this. I find it easier just to keep going, but I will put a little marker here so it's easier for me to sort of count the rounds that I've done. So I'm just going to put a little marker there, and then I can count the puff stitches down to where I need to be. So yeah, now it's just a matter of doing a single puff stitch in each and every space. No more increases anywhere. Close it with the slip stitch. Just go around the whole rim. Until you get the desired length. And this style, I think, works best as a smaller sort of toque on your skull, not a slouchy big hat. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but I find that this particular one fits nicely around the head, nice and tight. Okay, so here I've come around. I've done a single puff stitch in each. And you can already tell that it's starting to curve a little bit then, curve down, because I didn't do any increases. And I've come around to where I would normally close up the round here, but in this particular case, I'm not gonna do that. I find it easier, and I think it looks better too than to not do that, because then you don't get any seams. So I'm just gonna place a puff stitch in between here, in this one here. Like so. And keep on going. So I've done that one. I'm just gonna put one in here and keep on going right there. And that way I can just continue in a spiral from now on. The reason why I keep the little marker here is just so that I kind of know where to start to count the rounds down. So I know that now I've done one round, and then I can easily count from there on in. So I just let that one sit there. And then it's just a matter of doing it. So I'm gonna check this one again after I've done about, like I said, 7 or 8 rows or so, or rounds, to see if that's a good size for the hat, and I'll check in then. Okay, so now I have done spirals, and I have worked my way to about, let's measure this and see. I would say this is about 4 inches. Yep, about 4 inches or so. And there is no exact signs, but I'm coming up close to where I started. I think I will make another one. So the amount of rows that you do, when you get down to about 4 inches or so, and you are approximately pretty much back to where you started, you will finish off this little cap by doing 3 rounds of just plain single crochet in each and every one. And again, I will continue in a spiral pattern. I won't close up the rounds, I will just do spiral, and I will go in on top of the puff stitch, and then I will do 1 in the center here. Oops. And 1 on the puff, and 1 here. And I will continue like so all the way across. Okay, so I have now done my 3 rows of single crochet, and I'm coming up close to where I sort of began my single crochet. So I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna finish up until I reach that point. About there. And once I get here, instead of just finishing it off here, that will leave a little jagged edge there, I am just gonna do a couple of slip stitches over here. And then finish it off. It looks a little smoother that way. And cut the thread. Pull it through. Weave in the ends. And voila. There's my little hat. All right, so that is it really. So you decide the thickness of the yarn and the crochet hook, and you just go around to make the increases to when you have about a skull cup to about this much, and then you go even on the sides all the way down, and then you just finish off with the 3 rounds of single crochet. And
would you say it's an easy hat to make? Is it a beginner, medium?
I would say this is an intermediate,
yeah,
because it's to get the puff stitch. I mean, as you saw in the first round, it is a little tricky at first to get those first 5 puff stitches in that tiny little ring. But once you get the hang of making a puff stitch, it is not that hard to do. And the principle, I mean, this is not my own design. I don't have a pattern for it. I just made it up. But I've seen these hats all over the place. So it's not, I can't say that this is my design, but I kind of figured that if you just go and do your increases in those 5 sort of spokes that ends up happening, and then you have one extra in between, it is pretty easy. And then once you have that sort of size, then you go down and then you finish it off. Easy peasy.
Yeah, it looks great in white, but it would look good
in any color.
In any color.
In any color. And it's like, I like the fact that it's not a slouch, it's not too big. Like I said, this is probably best suited for a little cap. Just a little cap. Not a big slouchy one, just a little one.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So, yeah. So to talk about something that happened to me just before you got here, for the most part, knitting and crocheting puts me in a happy mood, but sometimes you have mishaps. And I just had a few minutes before you showed up, and I was thinking, I'm just gonna wind some skeins that I have laying there, waiting to be wound. And I've shown you my yarn winder in the back there, how easy it is to just do it. It is easy until it's not. Sometimes something goes wrong. So it was the silk yarn, my beautiful, beautiful silk yarn that I have. These yarns, I bought them at Sopper Creek Yarn when we were there. They are kind of shine, there's a sheen to them.
Yeah.
So what happened was, when I was winding this on that little winder, it was slippery, so I was going really, really fast, and I was 90% done actually. And then...
Or so you thought.
Or so I thought. So what happened was, because it was so slippery on the plastic thing that you wind it up on, against, it went and it flew off.
Oh my gosh.
The whole thing flew off. The ball of yarn flew off my thing.
So maybe this kind of wool you have to
go slow. Yeah. So anyways, that little mishap took me close to, I don't know how, at least half an hour trying to sort out. Because it had twisted on itself, and to untwist and to rewind it.
That brings something back. Years ago, about 10, 12 years ago, I asked Karen, remember?
Oh, I forgot! I forgot about that. I tried to block that out of my memory.
Yeah, I said, hey, because I don't have a winder. I still to this day don't have a winder. I use hand winders.
She uses her husband.
My husband
Tony is the
willingly,
winder.
God bless him, willingly holds his hands up like this for as long as I need him to.
Aww.
But back then I asked Karen, I said, can you just hold my, can you just help me unwind my wool? And she said, yeah, no problem.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
I was not as good as Tony.
No, she absolutely wasn't. The whole thing got twisted, and it was so difficult to get.
And it was also during a group, so we had people talking, and I guess I was busy talking. Guilty, but.
Oh yeah, it took me hours.
And then I said.
Hours to unwind
it. And I said, Suzanne, I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's fine. It's not a problem. Let me help. No, it's fine. I could tell she was so mad at me.
Away from
She was
my
like,
wall.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're still friends. Thank
We're
God.
still friends.
Still friends. Yes, thank God.
We're actually talking about friends. You know my addiction that I have.
Yes.
Well, I have
you
several.
have several. So do I. Yes.
One of my addictions is scissors. I know if you follow us on Instagram or even here, I talk about my scissor addiction. So I thought I bought you a little present. It's very adorable.
And, it is a baby
Is
scissor.
it? I know, it's a baby.
How cute.
Isn't
Another
that?
scissor.
Another scissor you don't need.
No, but who needs, here we go. Let's see if we can hold this up.
Yeah, it's hard to see in the
It
glare.
is a little pink flamingo or something.
I know, it is.
It's a stork.
Isn't that cute?
A storklet. Well, thank you.
A storklet. Flamingo.
But I need to give you money.
Yes, you do. Because we talked about that before. Scissors or knives.
Look at that.
Oh, that was handy. $2?
$2.
Might work out. I might start giving you more scissors every time we see each other. This is a good part-time job.
I'm gonna have to go and raid my husband's pockets because he's always got coins in there.
Yeah, so does Tony.
Yeah, I don't know. I never carry change on me.
I don't even have 5 cents on me, ever.
I raided Dominic's pockets. Sorry, honey.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Suzanne.
Oh,
this is so cute.
I know.
Oh my God.
I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. It's very sharp.
Yeah,
It is very sharp.
very cute.
Yeah, you can never have enough scissors. Absolutely not.
No, that's true. And I mean, whenever you need one, you want one here, want one there. And sometimes a little one is better, especially for when you have woven in a thread in a tight spot somewhere. A little tiny scissor is easier to use.
I find when you use fine wool, it's easier, especially if you're going to be, when you use fine and you want to go close, the ones that I just gave you, the longer ones, are so much easier so you don't cut anything else
Absolutely.
by mistake.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
Oh, well, thank you, Suzanne. And
You're welcome.
I think that we are gonna say goodbye for now. That's all we have for today. Until next time, take care.
Don't forget to press the like button.
Thumbs up. Oh, also, if you want to be reminded of when we do release an episode, hit that little bell. That's
an
probably
alert.
down there.
Yeah.
Or there. Where is
That's
it?
an alert.
There.
It's somewhere.
There's a little bell. If you press that bell, you get a notification. That way you never miss an episode. All right. So until then, take care. Bye. Nej, det där är något fel som kom. Aj, sätt dig ner innan du gör det illa.
Jag kan inte sitta ner just nu. Vänta bara en minut.
Ja.
Vad är det?
Det här var changeable.
Vad är det här?
Men du, jag vet inte. Jag har inte beställt det här. Jag hämtar.
Jag är snurrig för att den här tabletten.
Men säg vad jag ska hämta.
Den är den. Nej, men kan vi inte börja med att ha på oss de här då?
Ja, det där är bebismössan. Sätt på dig den du. Nu ska vi se om vi överhuvudtaget syns. Jag sitter på något. Kan det vara en boll? Nej. Det var en liten boll. Det var en liten mussa. Okej.
Okay. Gud så snyggt den ser ut där.
Ja, vad snygg. Sitt med den sådär hela tiden. I love it. Okay. All right, with Karen's. Nej, nu får jag skärpa mig. Den där klipper vi bort.
Där vi sitter och stirrar så här.
Ja, herregud i himlen. Vad är det? Sluta nu.